Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In this video you're going to learn a lot of acronyms and also abbreviations that are essential for both business English and also just normal email communication and text messages. We also use acronyms quite a lot in spoken English, so it's important to learn the correct pronunciation or you might not be understood. If you do like the video, please hit like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Let's get started. So let's start by looking at an example email. Hi Rachel, read this morning's meeting. I'm going to need the report on my desk by COB today because tomorrow I'm OOO. Please call my PA to set up a meeting with the client for Thursday AM. Thanks, Emma. PS. I also need the P&L ASAP. Okay, so we've got a lot going on here. Let's start with RE. So this is an abbreviation, RE. We've got PLS, AM, and then PS, and then our acronyms COB, OOO, PA, P&L, and ASAP. Okay, so we're going to come back to this email at the end, and hopefully then you should know what all of these abbreviations and acronyms mean. Regarding. Re our earlier conversation, I've set up a meeting with the team leader for this afternoon. Now this is very common in emails, but also in spoken English. So I often say re instead of regarding, and that's absolutely fine. NA, not applicable. If a question on an application form does not apply to you, write NA in the box. PLS, now this one is probably obvious, please, and you would actually just pronounce it as please. Please call me when you get a chance. Approx, and the correct way to write this is with the stop afterwards. Approximately. Approx 500 employees attended the conference. Quite common in spoken English as well to say approx rather than approximately. AM and PM. So you probably know these, but I'm including them just because I want to point out a common mistake. So AM is ante-meridian, which means before midday. PM post-meridian, after midday. I leave for work at 8 AM and I get home around 6 PM. So this is the common mistake. I leave for work at 8 AM in the morning. Now, in the morning is redundant. It's not necessary because AM means in the morning. So let's take it out. Dept. Department. Can you contact the sales department, re this month's order? And notice that in spoken English you would just say department, you wouldn't say dept. And it's written with a stop. PS. Postscript. This actually comes from Latin postscriptum and it means written after. So if we look back at the email, when we finished our message, we can add some extra information. PS, I also need the P&L ASAP. ATTN, stop. So this is for the attention of. Attention J. Brown Sales Department. And you would say attention, not ATTN. This is typical at the beginning of an email or in the subject line of an email to say who the message is for. So let's move on to the acronym FAO. This actually also means for the attention of. FAO, J. Brown Sales Department. And you would read it FAO. Notice that there's more emphasis on the O, FAO. ASAP, this is usually written in capital letters, and again the emphasis is on the final letter, ASAP. As soon as possible. I need the finished project ASAP. So I pronounce it like this, ASAP, with each individual letter, but it's also very common to say ASAP. I need the finished project ASAP. Very typical in spoken English as well, so it's important to get the pronunciation right. If you say ASAP, for example, you won't be understood. RSVP. So we've actually stolen this one from French. Répondez s'il vous plaît. I apologize for my pronunciation there. I studied French in school, but that was many years ago. This means please reply. The wedding invitation said to RSVP by Friday. And here you can see an example where it says, you can't see all the writing, but it says kindly RSVP, or please respond. Very typical in invitations and also emails. If you've got an invitation to attend a meeting, then you have to RSVP and respond and say yes or no. FYI, for your information. I've set up the meeting for 2 p.m. today. FYI, Stella won't be there because she's on maternity leave. On maternity leave, in case you're wondering, this means off work because you are having or have had a baby. And FYI is very common in spoken English as well. AKA, also known as. Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanotta, aka Lady Gaga, is a successful singer and actress. I'm not actually sure if Germanotta is the correct pronunciation of her surname, but I did ask Google. So if I'm wrong, I blame Google. AKA is very typical in spoken English as well. We never say aka. Okay, so you've got to pronounce each letter, AKA. TOIL. This is an interesting one. Time off in lieu. So this last word is pronounced lieu, not lieu. Time off in lieu, AKA TOIL, can be considered an alternative to extra pay. So if an employee works overtime, if you work extra hours, instead of being paid for it, they can take the time off work as part of their annual leave or annual vacation. It's pronounced toil, and toil is actually a word itself. It means like strain or hard work. So it makes sense. So depending on your job and if your company awards TOIL or not, if you stay 2 extra hours on Monday, maybe you could come in 2 hours late on Tuesday, for example. AOB, any other business. So this is typical on meeting agendas. Things to discuss in the meeting, review last year's performance, discuss marketing strategy proposals, feedback, AOB. So often at the end of a meeting agenda, just to say anything else. CEO. So I've included this one, although you probably know what it is, but for the pronunciation, I've heard it pronounced CO before, but then you wouldn't be understood. You have to pronounce each letter. Now this is the Chief Executive Officer. The CEO is the highest ranking person in a company. CFO, Chief Financial Officer. The CFO is responsible for managing a company's finances. COO, so not the coup, the COO. This is the Chief Operations or Operating Officer. The COO is usually the second highest ranking in the company. They're responsible for the daily operation of the company and report to the CEO. PA, Personal Assistant. Please call my PA to set up a meeting. EA, Executive Assistant. I started out as a PA, but now I work as an EA. I have more responsibility. So it's a typical progression, career progression. You might start life as a PA, working life, and then progress and become an EA. COB or EOD. These are basically the same. We've got close of business or end of day. Now, in both cases, we're talking about the end of the traditional working day relative to the sender's time zone. So a traditional working day would be 9 to 5, so 5 p.m. in the time zone of the sender of the email. I have to prepare the financial reports by COB today. Or you could say, the boss needs the proposals by EOD Friday. So this is used to say that work should be complete, that there is a deadline of the end of the working day. KPI, Key Performance Indicator. KPIs are measurable values that show how effectively a company is achieving its business objectives. And I just want to point out here the way that it's written. It's in the plural form. Now you might see it like this, KPIs with an apostrophe. Now that is not correct, because that would mean key performance indicators in a possessive sense. And it's not possessive. It is in fact plural, key performance indicators as in more than one. ROI, return on investment. ROI is a mathematical formula used to evaluate how well an investment has performed. And this is the formula. It's profit minus cost divided by cost. For example, if you've got £1,000 profit and £400 cost, you would say 1,000 minus 400, which gives you 600, divided by 400, which is 1.5. And ROI is usually presented as a percentage. So then you would need to multiply that by 100, which means you have an ROI of 150%. Okay, so, and when you're speaking, you don't sort of say R-O-I. It becomes ROI altogether, ROI. TBD, to be decided or determined. The event will be held at the London office, date TBD. Very typical in emails. Or similar, TBC, to be confirmed. We'll be having the Christmas party at the same venue as last year, date and time, TBC. OOO, I like this one, and we don't say ooh, it is OOO. This means out of office. My PA is OOO today, so you'll have to call me directly. And then we've got BD. This is business development. The BD team have advised that due to the success of the service, it should be expanded to the whole of the EU. So EU, another acronym here, European Union. P&L, this is the profit and loss statement or income statement. The P&L defines a company's income, costs and expenses over a specified period. And I want to point out something about the pronunciation here. It's P and L, but we don't say P and L. When it's spoken quickly, it's like P and L. And this happens a lot when you've got two words connected with and, like rock and roll, and you actually see it written like that, with the N and the two apostrophes, rock and roll, Guns and Roses, fish and chips. So it's not fish and chips. When spoken quickly, it's fish and chips, P&L. Okay, so let's look at the email again. First one, do you remember? Regarding. So this morning's meeting, regarding. COB, close of business. I'm OOO, out of office. This is easy. Please. My PA, who's my PA? My personal assistant. Thursday AM, so this is Thursday before midday or Thursday morning. PS, written after, so just adding some extra information. P&L, profit and loss. And finally, ASAP or ASAP, as soon as possible. I need the P&L ASAP. For more English tutorials, then take a look at my channel. And if you do like the content, please hit like and subscribe to see more. See you in the next video.